I hope you're having a good one. What's good? What's good? What's good? Yeah, I'm kind of having a good day. I wish everybody was having a day like me, but I can understand sometimes you're not. But if you wake up in the morning, it's a good day. It's honestly a good day. So, what do we have crack-a-lackin' today in today's news? First, I almost forgot to say this to you guys. First, today's question: who just refused a $20 million ransom demand? Kraken, Fidelity, Binance, other. If it's other, let me know your thoughts. So, a Chinese logistics firm, publicly traded, right? Publicly traded on the U.S. side. Stock is less than $1. I think it's like 64 cents or something like that. It's called Adentax, right? They announced plans to buy $800 million of Bitcoin and Trump. That's $1.1 billion, right? $1.1 billion that's been announced in the past week from companies that want to buy Bitcoin and Trump. Now, we all understand the idea of buying Bitcoin, but it's the and Trump that gets me. It's the and Trump that gets me, because it kind of makes me say, well, why would we be doing that? Right? Why would we be doing that? What the heck? Okay, I'm gonna leave that. And so it makes me wonder, what do we have going on here? Lex Luthor into his house. And yes, he invested in himself. Thank you for letting me know, sir. So yeah, I'm just thinking about things from that perspective. Just what are we doing? How are we doing it? Why are we doing it? And when I look at, here's an avenue for companies to send money to the current regime, it affects my bag because it is a Chinese company, both of them, one for 800, one for 300. They're both Chinese companies. Oh, thank you very much, Lex. So I have to be mindful of the sweaters that I wear because my mother is a sweater thief. She's a sweater thief. And that's right. I said it on camera. It's going to live forever on the internet. And I'm saying it. My mother is a sweater thief. Steals her son's sweaters. So I've got to keep my eye open. So $1.1 billion in the past week that's been announced by Chinese companies that want to invest in Bitcoin and Trump. I don't know about you, but I'm not comfortable with that. In no way does that make me comfortable that there is this door. Thank you for letting me know, Hutanic, that you invested in yourself. That's what's up. Don't ever call me that again. Delete that immediately. It's not funny. Especially since I've said it before. That pisses me off. Now, if you'd have said Dusty Baker, okay. So, I'm perplexed that this is allowed. And I think everybody should be upset by it. Why? The Senate's Genius Act on stablecoin regulation introduced new restrictions on executive issuers, big tech data use, and foreign issuers. But controversy over exemptions for the president and vice president clouds prospects for passage. That's why we should care. Okay? So not only is it affecting lawmaking, right? But it's also going to affect our bags. Because we have companies out here that seemingly are doing things just to appease the current regime. Does that not bother you? Bothers the hell out of me because it means that I can't predict anything. I can't, and it's not like you can predict the markets, right? That's not something you can do, but you can have a certain level of common sense that's going on there. There are certain things that happen within the markets that you can actually kind of say, well, based on these kind of numbers, the chances of this happening versus that happening are pretty good. Doesn't mean that that's not going to happen, but the chances are better over here. But when you have something like that, yeah, that's a problem. That's a big problem. So yeah, I have an issue with it. I think there are a lot of people that have issues with it. I don't think I'm the only one that has an issue with it. And let me see. Wow. So Go Fatima hops on, immediately chooses violence, does not let me know whether or not she has invested in herself. So she becomes tonight's first person to get sent to the corner. That's right. No. I don't want to hear it. Go to the corner. That's what you need to do, young lady. That's what you need to do. Now, thinking about swinging some PaxG to Bitcoin right now. Okay, then go do it. I don't know if I would do it, but go ahead and go do it. I mean, if you want to have a conversation about it, I'll tell you why I don't think I would do it. Because I think that we're very close to a new all-time high before a drop when we should go do that. My humble opinion. Whoa. Michael, that did not just happen to you. You were involved with the Coinbase thing? Big news tonight. Coinbase received, I'm just going to give you the answer because now we have one of the big baggers that's involved in this. Coinbase received a ransom note. And they got the ransom note from these people that hacked their accounts. And they didn't hack anything. They bribed some employees that are located overseas. They bribed them and got them to give them some personal information about customers. And then they used social hacking to get to those customers. And now Big Mike is telling us he is one of those people involved. I'm sorry, bud. I'm really sorry. So yeah, we're going to just end that question right now. It is Coinbase. Wow. So you can't get into your account. But here's the question. Oh, you can't get into your account. So you don't even know what's there or not there. Wow. Dude. Damn. I feel bad. I can't imagine. I cannot imagine. Well, because he was probably notified. It was 1% of the, do you know what kind of odds that is? It's 1% of their users that got hit, that were affected by it. 1%. 1%. And now we have somebody directly involved. That sucks. Damn. Have you been able to get in touch with Coinbase at all? Have they been responsive? Anything? Are they saying, no, we locked down your account so we could save everything? I mean, just anything. Damn. Holy crap. That is not cool. I mean, and I'm wondering, did they actually notify you? They sent text messages trying to cash out. Did I receive a text message? I received a spam text, but it wasn't from Coinbase. That's nuts. That is nuts. That's absolutely insane. Hold it. I'm in my account. Let's see. Yeah, I don't keep a lot in there, but I still have it. I still have my couple of $100. No notifications, no nothing. So I'm happy about that. Paula said other Coinbase. It's funny. Typo. Hello, Paula. At least I know that you've done your own research. Thank you for letting us know. Yeah, never respond to text and never click a link, no matter who it's from. And good evening, Paula. Yes, we knew that you did your own research. Wow. They acted like they were Coinbase. Yeah, because they had enough of your information, so it seemed like a real thing. And did I not just talk about this? What was it, last night or the day before? I was just telling you guys, AI is big, and this is something where I can use AI. I can buy your information for $2. So imagine I have your social security number, credit card information, last purchase information. There's so much stuff about all of us that's just out there on the dark web, and you could buy it all per person for $2. So imagine, not only do they have this Coinbase stuff, had they gone and purchased your information for $2. Wow. They had to have committed phishing attacks. Sort of. Because there are a couple of ways they could do it, right? They can do a phishing attack and you fell for the phishing attack, or DMAC, or they have enough information that they could pretend to be you to actually get into your account. The reason why I say that is because we don't know how much information those compromised employees gave to those people. Boom. DMAC, I'm sorry, son. Nobody sends me to the corner. It's my corner. I built it. These hands. I send people to the corner. Nobody sends me to the corner. Two-factor, no. Two-factor doesn't necessarily work. Now, if you have it, because not everybody has it turned on. Number one. Number two, that doesn't mean that they can't do it. There are several attack patterns that they can use once they have the right information. Several. Wow. I'm just saying. So when you stop and you really think about this, there's a lot of stuff that I can do. Now, that's not the scary side. The scary side is what Michael's going through, which is, let me pretend that I'm Coinbase and ask him questions. Oh, now we've got problems. Now we've got big problems. Okay, Hutanic, that's actually not true either. Nothing is 100% true. If your computer is turned on, you can be hacked. I don't care if it's not connected to the internet. If your computer is turned on, you can be hacked. It's a bad thing to make people think that, oh, if you have a passkey, everything will be fine. It's not true. That's actually not true. My company does penetration testing. We do a whole bunch of stuff in security. And I can tell you now, if you have juice running through it, you can be hacked. The best you can do is be as diligent as possible. That's it. But if I want your information, I can get it. Well, not me, but I know people. That's the God's honest truth. It really, really is. People think that, oh, I got this kind of passkey, got that kind of passkey. Nobody can break in. Nobody can do anything. Blah, 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 freaking blah. Don't believe that. Don't believe the hype. The best you can do is to be as diligent as possible. That's the best you can be. I've got triple protection on 2 separate phones, account on one, and code on another. So you have to have both and face scan to get in. Are they connected to the internet? If they have juice running through them, you can be hacked. Okay? But let's run with the idea that you have all your security in place and all your security is fine. Okay? For them to get in, they would still need those additional pieces of information to get in. See what I mean? In most cases, unless they got to you, like they wanted you. I can definitely target a person. But if they're not targeting you specifically, you're just some random individual, I'm not targeting you. I'm just trying to see if you nibble enough so I can get in. That's all I'm trying to do. It takes too much work to target a person. I'm going to buckshot that and hope one of these pellets hits the target. Good enough. Good enough. That's what hackers do. They buckshot everything, right? And hope that one of the pellets hits. Now, my problem is did Coinbase reach out to you to say, yo, there's a problem. We're working on it. We're going to lock down your account for a little bit, blah, 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 bloody, bloody, blah. Or we have a hotline set up for, because if I'm going to let that get out there, I'm going to set up a hotline for the people that were affected so that they immediately reach a human freaking being. Oh, no doubt. Michael, I know you've heard me say plenty of time, I keep almost no money on Coinbase or any exchange. Why? Because they're just like a freaking bank. They're just like banks. I don't trust banks. I'm not going to trust them. So I keep things not on there. Non-custodial wallet over here. For the most part, the only time that I have money on any exchange is when I require that exchange in order to handle, a process for me. If not, I don't know. I don't use them. So yeah, the heck out of there, dude. No doubt. No doubt. Don't want you getting caught out there. So as soon as you have your stuff in hand, get to stepping. Now, I will say this. Understand the bags that you have, like the coins, the digital assets that you have, and match the wallets to the coins, right? Not all wallets handle all coins. So be mindful. UB is a solid security upgrade. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. But again, nothing is 100%. Nothing is 0%. That's all I'm saying. Diligence. You are somewhat insured. Maybe. To a certain amount. Just like a freaking bank. Feel me, D-Mac? Feel me? That's why I don't keep my stuff in the bank. It's silly. Silliness. Keep your money in the bank. For what? So they make money off your money? Saving money is what? Somebody else making money off your money. Investing money is you making money off your money. The only time a bank has my money is when I need to pay bills. That's it. And as soon as I can pay those bills with digital assets, to a bank. Dead serious. I know my mother's going to slap me for that. I'm pretty sure she'll understand though. That one I might be able to get a pass on that one. Except I'd probably get slapped for admitting to the whole world that she steals my sweaters. Or she used to. I have to keep them on the lock and key now. It's like that that Fort Knox level stuff when it comes to my sweaters. Supposedly up to $1 million. Yeah. How do you go about getting it? Did they reach out to you and let you know, hey, you were a part of the group that was compromised, and these are the steps that we're doing for you. This is how we're handling it. Yada yada yada. Okay. Now I'm going to say something that I said yesterday, and it's people are going to be bugging out over this. Brian Armstrong, the CEO of Coinbase, was offering fast track jobs to people that used to work for the Department of Government Efficiency. What? And now here we are dealing with a hack and no communication or very little communication. You're finding out about this over there. I'm not affected. However, I do have a Coinbase account. I would have notified everybody, hey, this is what happened. But everybody that was affected would get a separate message saying, hey, you were affected. We're here for you. This is what we're going to do. This is how we're handling it. We actually know how much is there. So if anything was compromised or is compromised, don't you worry about it. We've got you. Because if you've got $1 million on Coinbase, you don't have a regular Coinbase account any old way. Yeah. So you don't have to be technically savvy to store your own Bitcoin, store your own digital assets. There are plenty of trustworthy wallets out there that you can use to actually do that. You can get a Trezor, you can get a Ledger, you can get just anything that doesn't make you stay on an exchange. Any non-custodial wallet. Just go do your own research on non-custodial wallet. Do your own research, know your entries and exits, and absolutely invest deliberately. Let's go do your own research. There's MetaMask, there's Lace, there's Backpack. Who's this one? There's Solaire. There's My Ton Wallet. There's Trust Wallet. There are tons of wallets out there that you could choose from. There's Coinomi. There are tons of wallets out there that are reputable, that are good. But do your own research and be mindful of any exchange. This is exactly why I don't keep my money on exchanges. Like, now I'm not rich, so I have a few $100 on an exchange. If I lose that few $100, I'm still going to be pissed. But it's a tiny, tiny number. It's a tiny, tiny number. My man, Rick Ritchie, thank you for letting me know. Bruh, some people, I would not recommend to do it. I dealt with a lot of people. Yeah, I deal with a lot of people too. I still recommend it. Because something like this, they lose their minds. And guess what? At some point, when the world starts going to digital wallets, which they are, you're going to have to learn how to do that anyway. Do these same people know how to use a credit card or a debit card? Yeah, they know how. Do they use Cash App, Venmo, any one of those kind of deals? Yeah, they know how. I'm not feeling sorry for you. I'm not feeling sorry for anybody that doesn't want to step up their game and learn something new. You do you, son. You do you. Right? Just saying. At some point, that's on you. You've got to step up your game. Step up your knowledge. Yeah, you might have insurance. How do you get there? Were you notified? Luckily, I don't think I was. No, then it's you, because I'm not echoing. I think you might be the only one that's echoing. But good evening, Charles, and let me know if you invested in yourself. I yanked everything this week on exchanges. Crazy. I had a feeling. Wow. Yeah, I've got a few $100s on 2 different exchanges. That's it. And not cash, like digital assets. But they're there for a reason. And I'm okay with the amount because I know my entries, know my exits, right? Do your own research, know your entries and exits. Absolutely invest deliberately. I know that. So it's calculated. It's calculated. I think insurance is only on the USD trading account, if I'm not mistaken. Go do your own research. Go do your own research. Michael, please go do your own research. If you got access to your account, definitely go think about how you're going to store your assets. Charles M., thank you. That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. Yeah, all DEXs and swaps. I try to do DEXs and swaps depending on how much money I'm going to make or save or lose, right? That's what I think about. How much is that going to be? Because DEXs and swaps can cost more than going through an exchange. Sometimes. Because we forget that, some of these exchanges will tell you, oh, look at this fee. That fee is a great fee, right? It's a great fee. Oh, yeah, and then there's our fee. So, yeah. And a lot of people don't do the math on both the fees. They're not doing the math on both the fees. So even on my Excel version of Crypto Tracker, I add up both the fees and put that in the fee calculator so I know how much fees I paid. But yeah. And Hutanik, I'm with you. I have no problem paying that little extra for privacy. And not even privacy, just security. I'm going to send and I'm going to get back. Boom, boom, done. I like that part. But yeah, that's what's going on. That's what's going on right now. right? And then they're still being investigated by the SEC. Let me tell you something. The SEC is still pissing me off. The SEC is still wickedly pissing me off. So Coinbase used to report user data, not user data, but numbers of users, right? And back in 2023, they decided that's not a good metric. We're not going to report it anymore. Back in 2023. It is now 2025, and they made notification back in 2023 that, hey, we're not going to do that anymore because, and then they moved on. And yet there's still this lingering case. Why is this case still lingering? The new regime has been here for a while. Why is this case still lingering? Why is their money still being spent on this case? This is from 2.5 years ago. If you had a problem, and how many times did they file their paperwork from 2023 to now? If you had a problem and you're waiting until now to actually talk about something that happened back then, come on now. 2.5 years, you're the government. How old are your systems that your systems aren't checking things automatically and just throwing up red flags for you to go look at stuff? It's because we work so inefficiently. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. DMAC, you're correct. The fees are much higher than other fees. Much higher. I pay a monthly fee of $29 on Coinbase. All of my trades are free, except you're spending the $29. They're hoping that, you do a lot of trades. But what they're really hoping for is that you pay the $29, so you leave your money on their platform. You leave your value on their platform. Yeah, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I will gladly use their platform to go do whatever it is I want to do, and it's out. It's out the door. 9 times out of 10, I'm just flipping to USDT, and then I'm out the door. Ta-da! Usually using some kind of a swap to go do something. So that those assets go to a swap, and then when that swap is done, that swap is going to a non-custodial wallet. Ta-da! Yeah, I'm not going for that. I am not going for that. They dropped. I don't know what you mean by they dropped one. You mean they dropped one case? I don't think they dropped the case. I think they let the case play out. Right? I think that's what really happened. Yeah, having a sip of good. Nice little Riesling. But it's not just that, right? I mean, Rick, think about this. We've been talking about this for a while. So you're not dropping the cases that you should drop, and you're not approving the ETFs that you should be approving. I thought we were expecting more from this regime. I mean, is that why Brian is offering jobs to people that come from the Department of Government Efficiency? Is that why he's doing that? Sounds kind of suspect to me. Sounds suspect to you? Sounds suspect to me. Like, that's nuts. That's absolutely nuts. I don't understand how that works. That sounds more than just a little bit suspect. The same way that those Chinese firms buying, wanting to use their 800 million for one firm and 300 million from another firm to buy Bitcoin and Trump. I'm going to say it just like that from now on. Bitcoin and Trump. How is that cool? Yeah, I'm not using Brave browser to do anything like that. I want things separate. I mean, let me rephrase. I'm not a fan of Brave browser for whatever reason. I'm not a fan. But if it had something that I like right now, I've looked at everything that I could possibly do, and would I ever need certain wallets? I bet you most people don't do that. I did. And I figured out that I have more secure paths to getting whatever I want. So I'm going to use those and cut the number of wallets that I use down. And for some reason, I'm just not a fan of Brave. Don't ask me why. I'm just not a fan. They could be perfectly fine. I'm just not a fan. Too much stuff built in. too much stuff built in to the browser itself. Nah, I'm good off that. I'm good off that. Know what I mean? Just saying. Just saying. So what else do we have? We've got Telegram founder Pavel Durov launched a $50,000 contest to highlight tons, features, right? Their original features. He also went off on WhatsApp talking about how they, just stole feature ideas. They didn't have an original idea. As deep. But that's not what gets me tonight. What gets me tonight is Telegram shut down Hao Wang. I think that's how you pronounce it. They shut down Hao Wang, a $27 billion crypto black market laundering funds space. A crypto. It's actually I said that wrong. It's a $27 billion crypto black market laundering, because there should have been a comma, laundering funds for scams and cybercrime, even though GMB and Tadao Guarantee continue to operate. That's no joke. Oh snap! Is that Fatima? Because she was on timeout. You were in the corner. Why'd you delete it? I was about to read it. Every software wallet is weaker in security by design. I completely disagree. What's next? Let's see. That $27 billion crypto black market. Can't let that go. A $27 billion crypto black market. Yeah. That's what's out there. That's what's out there. And they're hiding in plain sight, masquerading as real companies. Which makes me wonder who's out there buying Trump. How'd you compile it? I'm still wondering how you know what? We're going to let that go. But that's a big deal, shutting that down. Because I think GMB was also hit. And now you have Hao Wang. I don't even know how to pronounce it. Hao Wang. I apologize for the mispronunciation. But that's a big deal. UBS revealed wealthy investors are actually upping their digital assets by to like 5% of their portfolios. UBS is not a big bank, but that's what they're doing. Statistically, that's great. Depends on which one you're talking about, sir. Statistics are funny. They can be made to actually tell a good story or tell a bad story. Which browsers? That's a broad stroke. Which software wallets are you talking about? Which ones? Right? And then which hardware wallets are you talking about? There was a hardware wallet that had a problem earlier this year. I forgot who it was, but they had a problem this year. So yeah, no. Statistically, sure. Okay. But this wallet versus that wallet, which is more secure? The common factor. Person behind the keyboard. No, not in general. We're not talking about generalities. We're talking about your wallet, my wallet. Talking about your wallet and my wallet. And you think hardware wallets are more secure? Yeah, no. It's not naturally. Remember, you're talking to a technologist. So yeah, no, it's not naturally. Excuse me. So yeah. Software can be just as good as hardware. And hardware can fail. So there are different risk factors on both sides. So yeah, nah. I don't use blanket things like that. It's always the human behind the keyboard. Yep. Or the bot. Or now they're called agents. They're agents now. I know I'm a pain in the butt. Why? Because a report from AML bot revealed Tether's multi-signature freeze process has a 44-minute delay that could be exploited by hackers, or allegedly was exploited by hackers to move $78 million since 2017. And it happened on Ethereum and Tron. I don't care how they were able to move it. It has nothing to do with the blockchain that they used to move it. It has everything to do with Tether has a problem, or maybe they had a problem. But everybody's got security issues. I love when people try to throw words at me that they think I don't understand when they're not in the business. Software wallets have risks. Hardware wallets have risks. Period. It doesn't matter if somebody says, well, this risk is bigger than that risk. That's all opinion. It's all opinion. It's how did the hacker get into this? How did the hacker get into that? I'm amazed by people when they say that. Cisco used to be or is one of the baddest ass firewall companies out there. But you could hack a Cisco system. And that's hardware. People have these strange ideas about security, and they talk about it from the outskirts on being on the user end. That's being on the user end. I'm not on the user end. And I can tell you now, hardware wallets are good. Software wallets are good. Depends on what your risk framework is. Now, if I'm going to trust somebody to have a hardware wallet, how good is a hardware wallet? How strong is a hardware wallet? It's only as good as you store your freaking seed phrase, right? Because if I have that, I can go recreate that wallet someplace else. It's only as secure as the human being that's using it. Facts. Facts. Do I use both? Yeah, I use both. That's right, because I don't leave everything in one basket. My mother wouldn't like steal my sweater over that. She'd probably whip my butt over that. You don't keep all your eggs in one basket, boy. You don't keep all your eggs in one basket. That's what my mother would tell me. I'm going to let you continue believing what you believe. That's what I'm going to do. Again, I'm going to let you believe what you want to believe. That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to leave it at that. Everybody has their own thoughts. I'm not putting anybody down for having their thoughts. Everybody has their own thoughts. Here is a question I ask folks: Would you hide $100,000 under your mattress with no insurance? To me, that's not a valid question. Depends on where my mattress is. I know people that would gladly store their money in their mattress. Why? Because getting to that mattress, good luck. I know people like that. Good luck. Good luck. It's like people that hold gold. I'm holding a gold bar. Where are you holding it? Well, I keep it in my house in a safe. What kind of safe? And the questions just go on and on and on and on and on and on. You know, like, can you get into that safe, if after a fire? Is it fireproof? How much heat can it handle? Blah, 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 blah. Go watch The Italian Job. It's a good movie. It's cute. I went to the doctor today. Oh, Rick Ritchie. Yeah, right? Ooh. Yeah, I'd have a problem with that. I don't want AI agents looking at my stuff. Depends on what they're doing. And I don't trust these companies. I just don't. Yeah, it is. Depends on how you're storing your gold. But the same people that are holding money in their, in their mattresses, well, how are you storing your gold? Security starts with the person. Security starts right here. So I'm going to make it difficult for you to get to everything. Why? Because I'm going to make it difficult for me to get to everything. So if you're going to try to kidnap me and you go, oh, well, what's your password for this? I don't freaking know. I don't freaking know. I have to go through a lot of stuff to get to that. So you better figure it out. You figured out. You let me know. I've been meaning to get in there. You know what I mean? Oh, don't store your seeds on paper. Are you serious with that? Are you serious with that? You're freaking funny. There, years ago there was this guy, and he was recording on the train, and he had to type in his password, and his password was like hundreds of characters long, and he knew the characters. Wow. Security is no joke, and people tend to write it off. Hutanic and all the rest of the guys, they're not giving you bad advice. They're not giving you bad advice. They're saying, oh, I like hardware wallets. Good. You like hardware wallets. I like hardware wallets. I like software wallets. I like non-custodial wallets. But back to the guy who had a passphrase, a password that was hundreds of characters long. That is the most secure mofo I have ever heard of. He would sit there and just type it in like no problem, like playing a little game, typing it in. Security starts with the person. I'm making the argument for why people are on exchanges. People are on exchanges because they don't know any better. Don't blame me for that. People are on exchanges because they don't know any better. As people step up their knowledge, they tend to migrate to non-custodial wallets. Facts! They tend to migrate to non-custodial wallets. And a lot of those people sit there and they kind of go, you know what? I'm going to migrate to this non-custodial wallet and I'm still going to have, exchanges. I still have exchanges. I just don't keep a lot of money on there, but I still have the accounts because I will traverse things through an exchange to get the deal that I want to get or to do what I want to do. Yeah, what's wrong with that? Yeah. So, think about that. Think about that. That's, it is what it is. It is what it is. You just got to understand what you're doing, what you're trying to accomplish. But I'm not going to sit here and tell you that, this is the best. No, it might be the best for me. That might be the best for you. I'm going to tell you to go do your own research, know your entries and exits, and absolutely invest deliberately. And then you will figure out what fits into your risk framework, what works best for you. Simple. Really is simple. Most people don't want to put the work in. I agree. They are not my problem. I have 4 kids. They're my problem. Nobody else is my problem. They're my problem. You're going to do what you want to do. It's as simple as that. You're going to do what you want to do. Go ahead. Right? Exactly. It's best to not keep everything in one basket. That's right. D-Mac, I think we will agree to disagree on this one. No, because you believe one thing, I believe something else. I didn't say you were wrong. I just said that there are different ways of measurement. And there are different risk postures, right? You like hardware wallets. That's great. I don't care. As long as you feel secure, that's all that really matters, right? Because I could give you Fort Knox, but if you don't feel secure, Fort Knox can be better than everything in the whole freaking world. But if you are not feeling secure, that's it. Didn't work. You'll constantly be questioning yourself. And every time you question yourself, you know what else you're going to do? You're going to make a mistake. I'd rather you feel more secure with at least something that is secure. Just saying, there are things that you can do. I have main bags in several different places. I wasn't kidding when I told you I don't trust anything 100%. Not kidding. Not kidding. If I really want something safe, I will take it to my brother's house because I dare you. I freaking dare you. I really, really do. I really, really do. There's nothing that man does not know about security. I dare you. I'll leave it on his front friggin' lawn too. You gotta get there. you gotta get there. Ask the deer in his neighborhood. They don't get there. And those are God's creatures. I'm just saying. There comes a point where, like I said, I have nothing against hardware wallets. I have nothing against software wallets. I have things against people that aren't doing the right research to figure out what their risk factor is, what their risk framework is, and just making choices because other people said so. You want to know why I argue on the show so much? Is because it forces you guys to actually come out with why you feel a certain way. Most of the stuff that you guys are saying, I already know. I don't care. What I do care about is I'm getting you guys to share with everybody else because it helps the community learn. I can't know everything. It has to come from the community. So I will gladly enter into a debate so that people can make their own decision, right? Well, it's air gap, bud. What are you talking about? Well, yeah. Do people know what that means? Some people did not. But what did Hutanic do thereafter? This is what it means. He actually said, this is what it means. So everybody gets to learn something. So yeah, I will get you guys. Do you guys think that, he just likes to argue. He just likes to argue. But what happens every single time? I get more information for the community so that we could all learn. It's a talent. Ask my mother. I was a pain in the ass when I was a kid. I was a pain in the butt. That is how you arrive at conclusions. It helps people weigh things. I've shown you I've got hardware wallets. You kidding me? Hell yeah, I got hardware wallets. You done lost your mind? But I also have software wallets. I also have accounts on exchanges. But I tell you guys, I don't leave a lot of funds on exchanges. No. You know what my trick is? I'll leave a couple of $100 in certain assets on exchanges. Why? So that when I see something that might be a long shot, I've got a couple of bucks that I can drop in real fast. Book. And then what do? I get it, and whatever I've purchased, it's out. Because I need to know my entries, and I need to know my exits. That's the idea. Yes, it is risk exposure. It's also not all wallets handle all coins. Go look. So when wallets first started proliferating, right? You had wallets that specialized in EVM, right? Ethereum virtual machines. So they would just handle mostly Ethereum stuff. And then you had wallets that are specialized in Solana stuff, Bitcoin. But not all wallets handle all coins. That's why you might have different wallets. Solon said it was a crime not to debate if you had an idea. Yeah. For real, for real. That's right, Go Fatima. That's right. I need people to learn. I'm here to help people learn. I'm not here to yes anybody to death. I'm not here to pat you on the back. Oh, you're absolutely right. No. I'm here to get you to share your idea. But when I feel like you haven't shared enough as to how you got to that decision, I'm trying to extract it out of you. I'm trying to bring that out there. Just don't forget that I got some skills. I have probably more skills than most people out there. It's the joy of owning a business that this is what we do. But not everybody has that. So listening to another regular person who has taken the time to do their own research helps people realize, wow, that person had a logical way of getting there. Maybe I should go look into that. We have people in this community that are just ridiculous when it comes to doing research. So I try to get them to share as much as possible because they're not just telling you the decisions that they made, they're telling you how they got there. And it's not for you to copy what they did. It's for you to gain an understanding of how they got there. That's the idea. What was your thought process on getting there? I want to know that. Because I can reach the same point, but you might have given it more thought from this perspective. I might have given it more thought from this perspective, so on and so forth. That's what I'm trying to get at. Buy 2 of each type. It's worth the cost. It's the only reason I went large. No way would I let someone keep my assets. Not anymore. But it takes time to get there. It takes time to get there. People have more trust in other people because they believe that those other people or other companies know more than they do. So they trust that those companies are going to do something. Right? It's sort of like, who was it? It was sort of like 88-year-old Lois Nadler trusted Citibank to have security measures in place so that she wouldn't lose $40,000. That whole situation is being looked into by the New York State Attorney General because they believe that they didn't have the right, controls in place to thwart something like that. And they're saying, well, we had a verbal from her, and she's saying no, and it's sounding like the evidence isn't there to back up their case. It sounded like she was right. So she's like, I want my $40,000. And it happens to old folks. She's 88 years old. 88 years old. And let me tell you something. I bet you she has a regular degular account. But if she was a high net worth individual, they would have given her back that money already, would have apologized and sent her over a bottle of freaking champagne. Different types of accounts at different firms, you're going to get treated differently. Dead serious. What else? I agree. I've been in crypto since 2016, made tons of mistakes. That's the best way to learn. It sucks though, but it's the best way to learn. Same, I went through multiple laptops for just a single and exclusive usage of that particular wallet and only for on and off ramping. Machines are only connected to internet for the time being used. See what I mean? Air gapping. Yeah, not the only one. Been there, done that. And let me tell you something. There's still a whole bunch of other stuff that you're going to fall down on. You're going to fall down on certain things. We've got to learn. We've got to learn. So I argue that keeping stable coins on a hardware wallet is the first move for beginners. It's a mindset change of taking responsibility. Hardware wallet, software wallet, I don't care which one, but moving to a non-custodial wallet. I don't care if it's a hardware wallet. As a matter of fact, I probably don't want it to be a hardware wallet as your first non-custodial wallet. I probably don't. And the reason why is because baby steps. If I think you're there, then I'll probably push you straight to a hardware wallet. If I don't think you're there, I'm going to push you to a non-custodial software wallet where you can get used to it. And then the only difference between that and a hardware wallet is this piece of hardware that you're going to need to actually do anything. Remember when you were a kid? That's how I explain it to people. Remember how when you were a kid, you had a checking account, you had a savings account? Yeah, that was at regular banks, and you can go do a whole bunch of stuff there. But then you had savings bank. I used to have an account at Dime Savings Bank. And you could only go there on certain days during certain hours to do any transaction, anything. And you needed your passbook. See where I'm getting at? So think of your hardware wallet as you can only do this at certain times in certain places because you need internet access, and then you've got to turn it off. Kind of the same concept. And it kind of gets people to more easily understand how that works. If I have a debit card in my hand, it's easy for me to get money, right? I don't even need to get to the money. I could just walk up to the store and boop, boop, just tap and go, right? Just tap and go. They wanted to make it easy for you like that. But now, if you've got a passbook savings account, you're not doing jack. There's no card. You can't just get there. It's a passbook savings account. You got to get there during their hours of operation, and that's it. Some interesting stuff. Very interesting stuff. What else do I have? Okay, those are private conversations. Yeah, it already is. Your phone is already a wallet. I've been reporting that for days now. So many countries overseas, they're moving to digital wallets in major fashion. Freaking Dubai wants to go at least 90% cashless. How are they doing that? Digital wallets. Where's that digital wallet? On your phone. On your phone. The only issue with that is, well, can I clone your phone? Everything has a weakness. It's just how big is the weakness? And is it enough for me to go after you? Maybe. Maybe not. Just saying. Just saying. It doesn't even necessarily have to be the same provider. You can go to another provider and it'll pop up. As long as you have your seed phrase, you can do almost anything you want. Ta-da! Just saying. They're not just using any custody firms to store their millions. Some of them are using custody firms that literally store their wallets in, like, when they say cold storage, they mean like in a mountain, very far below ground. Need all kinds of security to get in. Yeah, one of those apocalypse level vaults. No joke. And people think I'm tripping. I'm not. I'm dead serious. There's a documentary about it. Yeah. You want to know where they got the idea from? Or one of the places where they got the idea from? There used to be a company, I think they're still in business, called Iron Mountain, and they stored your records where? In a freaking mountain, because they bought it. They bought land, and there was a mountain on the land, and they built it out. It was Iron Mountain. Yeah. Yeah. It's funny. When I was younger, I was starting a company called Data Silo. And the whole premise of this company was we were going to buy decommissioned missile silos and turn them into data centers. Want to know why? Because the only thing that could take out that silo was another freaking missile. And even then, yeah, it's a big deal. There was one upstate that we were going to buy for $1 million. Upstate New York, we were going to buy it for $1 million. And the reason why we were going to buy it came with a house and an FAA certified landing strip. 1 mil. 1 mil. Back then, 1 mil was a lot of money. Right now, it's like 1 mil. There are kids that can hand you their allowance. Like, go ahead, just bring back the change. Yeah. That's how that works. That's literally how that works. So there's a lot of stuff that you can do. There's a lot of stuff you can do, but you want to be as secure as possible, and you want to pay attention to what's out there. Just saying. Just saying. Anyway, everybody, this is Eddie J on crypto for growmybag.tv. I hope you like what I'm doing. If you do me a favor, tell your friends about us. This is a completely different kind of community. I don't think anybody's going to sit here and tell me that they haven't learned from this community or haven't given to the community. We're different. Tell your friends about us. Hit the like button, and definitely, absolutely. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your patience. And as always, thank you for your trust. Everybody, enjoy the rest of your evening. Bye-bye.